What is going on, people? Welcome to a quick Q&A that we're going to be doing. Apologies about not uploading over the last few days. Things have just been a little bit out of routine, or on top of trying to work on the album, and just things have just been a bit hectic. Plus, there's not been too many tunes from big artists that have dropped over the last few days. Like, I have been paying attention to some of the smaller guys that have been DMing me, or things for like the Underrated Showcase and things like that. I've been checking out plenty of stuff in private, but not anything that I really wanted to make a reaction on before even listening to it. And so I put out on Instagram yesterday for you guys to ask some questions, and yeah, let's get into it. What/who inspired you to begin a career in the music industry? I mean, if I wouldn't say I'm a part of the music industry, so to speak. In terms of who inspired me to do music in the first place, I'd say people like Skepta. I'd say someone like, I was about to say Dave, but not quite Dave. Dave I listened to later on, or that was around the time I started listening to him. Whit Lowry. Whit Lowry is a huge inspiration for me to start. I'd say someone like Chip, definitely. There's probably a load of people I could go through in terms of, it was mainly just who I was listening to, you know. But in terms of what I'm trying to do with the Australian scene, in terms of be a little bit more behind the scenes, not behind the scenes, but in terms of being a part of the scene that's not an artist, I'd say someone like Joe Budden. Now, Joe Budden, in a weird way, I like what he does, but I don't always agree with it. You know, I don't always agree with his opinion. Sometimes I think he's being controversial just for the sake of being controversial. I don't try to be controversial. I actually try to be the opposite, if anything. But what I like about it is that he's not afraid to say what goes against the grain. Now, if that's what I genuinely feel, that's what I'll say. For example, if there's a song that's trending and everyone loves it, if I don't enjoy it, I will say that I don't enjoy it. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll never flat out just turn around and say that song's just trash. I will always give my reasons for why I don't like it. And oftentimes you'll hear me just say, maybe it's just not for me. You know, think about it yourself. Do you enjoy every single song you've ever listened to? Probably not, you know. So but I like the fact that he says everything with his chest, you know, like that. And also, I've seen him apologize and admit when he's wrong, and it's something that I also like to do myself. If I am wrong, I'll be the first one to hold up my hands and say, you was right, I was wrong, you know. So in terms of who I take inspiration from in that manner, I'd say someone like Joe Budden, or from the UK, Chucky Online, or Julia Denega. You know, those kind of people. They're just honest, and you know, that's, I wouldn't say it inspires me, but it's definitely something that I look up to. Why have I got this question a bag of times? OneFour or 21 District? Well, let me just make it clear. I am not on either side. Like, I'm sitting flat in the middle. I'm not taking sides. I will react to the music. I will enjoy it for the musical beef that it is, but I don't want to promote or advocate or any shit, real life shit. You know, I understand real life shit happens, but I don't want real life shit to happen. Not with these, man. You know, they're in a position where they're able to be doing shows, especially in OneFour's position, it has to be said. You know, when they're trying to be support acts for Dave and things like that, you know, they're able to be doing shows and shit. And I don't want them, man, to fuck it up for themselves by bringing real life shit in. Furthermore, when you've got those amount of eyes on you, you know, you've got a lot of people coming to shows. If it takes the road down the UK route, you know, UK man had a lot of problems trying to do shows at first, and still do, because of you know, people, feds worrying about whether there's going to be violence or stabbings or anything like that. If they feel like your show promotes that, they can lock down your show. I know in the UK that form, the 40 or the 61, whatever the number was, whatever the form was, to lock down a show. I know that got abolished in the UK, but I don't know if that was in Australia. So I am a little bit skeptical because of all this beef. I don't know how much it's going to affect these men performing, especially in a state, you know, where they're from. I don't know how much of a problem that's going to be. So I hope that whatever's going on, they don't have to like each other. I'm not sitting here saying make up and be best friends. I just hope they don't fuck it up for each other in terms of not being able to do shows. I want them to be able to grab their bag and, you know, really come out of this shit. Like, I know there's a bag of man in each group in it, but you're in the position where you could be making money, and so I don't want that to be, I don't want your hood shit to keep you in the hood, you know, like that. I want you to be able to excel from that and be able to be like, you know what, fuck, I'm not saying it's petty shit, but you know, I'm gonna just use the term, no better of a term, fuck the petty shit, let's go perform, let's grab the bag, and let's just excel ourselves to bigger things, man. Like, the problem about the hood and whatnot is the shit that you can get caught up in will keep you there. And so the day that you're able to separate that even for 5 minutes will definitely give you enough time to get yourself out of there. But if you're always going to be caught in the hood, you know, you're gonna end up staying there. There's always going to be something pulling you back there. And so if you really want to get away from that shit, again, I don't know how they need to do it, but they need to somehow separate it from their music career so it don't fuck up their music career. Alright, long rant over. Next question. At what age in life did you start rapping? I started rapping officially from like, I think 16. 16 is when I've written and published my first song. But I think in terms of just messing about, I was always rapping. I was always rapping lyrics to, you know, some of my favorite songs like Kanye West songs and 50 Cent songs and Jay-Z songs growing up. And I used to do it a cappella, like no beat, without the song even being on. I wanted to learn the lyrics so well that I would be able to spit them at any given time. You know, I love learning fast verses, so things like Eminem's Rap God, Busta Rhymes verse on Look At Me Now, things like that I love learning as well. So in terms of that, I was always rapping from a younger age. I started writing my own stuff. I mean, even then at a young age I was writing my own stuff, but never like finished tracks or anything, just like little freestyle verses, like, you know what I mean. My cousin was a huge influence in that. He was like big brother at the time. So yeah, man, I was always rapping from a young age, but officially when I've written my first song and put it out was 16. Man just said Wagwan. Wagwan. What was your schooling like, and what did you do when you had left? So primary school was, I don't really remember much of primary school. You know, I was a fairly quiet child. I was fairly like good in a sense. I wasn't like a golden child or anything like that, but I was just relatively well behaved, kept my head down, got on with it. As for secondary school, that's how I started out. And then year 9/year 10, I went on a little bit of a rebellious one. Nothing bad, like nothing real bad, like just shit like I'd have the odd fight here or there, or I didn't do my homework here, or pocket munching in that lesson, or I skipped English because I went and did music instead. Like, it was just shit like that. It weren't nothing bad. But I went from being that little quiet kid that got on with it to, Charlie, just stop doing that, or stop chatting to this one, or fucking hand that in. You know what I mean? It was never bad shit or anything like that. And even then I was still relatively quiet in school. I had my circle of friends and that was it. I never tried to be something I wasn't. I never went out of my way to impress other people, you know. But I did have a low sense of self-esteem, you know. I was very quiet. And so then when I left secondary school, I was a little bit lost. I wanted to do music tech, but the nearest music tech course was quite far away. It was achievable, but I weren't willing to be traveling like 2 hours on the train there and back every day. I just weren't doing 4 hours of travel a day on top of the funding that it would have cost. And so I kind of just naturally fell into a sports development course, which I thought it was just going to be doing PE. I'll be real, innit? I thought I was just going to turn up, play 2-2 football and badminton or some shit, like a little bit of basketball or something, and just get on with it. But that weren't the case. It turned out to be a coaching course, and so I got into sports coaching, started in football coaching, and it developed into teaching in schools, and now I'm where I'm at now. Any collabs with Oz artists soon? Right. Best grime artist in Oz, I reckon Shadow for sure. I'm not even mad at you saying Shadow. I'm gonna agree with Shadow, but I'm also gonna throw up some other ones. I'm also gonna throw Dime up there. I'm gonna throw Alex Jones. As long as he gets active this year, I'm gonna throw Alex Jones in the mix. There's no doubt in someone like Nerve or Wombat either, though. There's a bag of man. There is a bag of man. I don't think I could pick one outright without putting more thought into it, because I don't like to throw things out there without putting a lot of thought into it. But yeah, I'm not mad at someone saying Shadow. Ooh, that's a nice question. Still, who do you think has the best stories in their lyrics in the Oz scene, and why? I'm gonna go with either Husky or Flows. Oh Kobe D is dope as well. You've got what's your man's name? Elijah Yo. There's a few people still, but I'm gonna go with flows on Husky. Husky, we know what Husky does. So, like, free Husky, man. We know what Husky does. You know what you're gonna get, and it's what he delivers. And it's the same with flows. You know what to expect from him, and he always delivers. Husky has like kind of this cult following. It's a cult 201, but he has this something special about him. And as for flows, he has so many quotables, it's unreal. Like, the quotables is where it really just hits home, whereas Husky's kind of bar after bar after bar. Husky's shit is the shit that makes you cry, and flows has the shit that makes you sit back and go, what the fuck is the meaning of life? Like, I like those two for their own separate reasons, which is why I won't put either of them above each other for storytelling ability. But yeah, and there's no denying Chill's verse on the Dust to Dust track with Husky. There's no denying that verse either, because that's one of my favorite verses. But yeah, if we're gonna put them up there, Husky and flows. Man just said album with the eyes emoji. Right, your favorite song you've made? That is a banging question. Right, I've been thinking about this recently. When the album drops, would you guys be interested in me rating my own songs in order for what I prefer? I want to do some piece of content where I have people like vote in or something what they think my best track is, and then what I think my best track is in comparison. To answer that, I think the best track I have made is yet to be released, and it will be on the album. Best verse that you have? Nah, that spun my head still. In terms of a song that has been released, I'll say my first verse on Paths. Nah, that sounds like an insult still. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna go on my verse on Paths. But then in terms of a song that's not released, yeah, my best verse is on a song that's not released yet. Like, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to stop there. There was actually a few more questions, but I just don't want to make this video too long. Plus, I've got to edit it right now. But yeah, if you want me to do another Q&A, maybe I'll do one in a week or two's time. Apologies about not being uploading as frequently as I'd like to. I promise it's all for good reason. Like, it's not because I'm being lazy. I promise you. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. If you want to see more of these, let me know. And yeah, feel free to follow me on socials. The album's coming soon. And yeah, I'll catch you, man, later.